Let's see, what's today? October 4th. I want to get this video done because they're going to do that alert, and I don't want my phone to be on. Also, we're getting a freeze warning tonight, and I just got back month of harvesting. I don't know what my garden looks like. I got in late last night, about 1 o'clock in the morning. And my soaker system, I had my soaker system on, and this bucket actually filled up last night, but it was half empty. I have a camera on my soaker system, and it wasn't working for about a week. But it worked for about 2, almost 3 weeks. And then I looked at my camera, and I'm like, oh my gosh, my soaker system, it stopped. And I sent somebody over, but they couldn't figure it out. So I was like, oh my gosh, all my plants are going to die. But they're probably going to die anyway tonight. So I want to go through my garden and let you see firsthand live how my garden ended up. And we're going to go through a lot of these. And sorry for the bumpiness. I've never done this live, but I don't have time to film it. I don't have memory in my phone to film this. So wish me luck on this, guys. We're doing a garden update. So the first thing I noticed was my mint. My mint took a toll. And I don't know if the system didn't work for it, or if it wasn't dripping on it, but all of this went to seed, and I'm going to have to harvest this. It all went to seed. It's all stiff. It's like ready to use as tea. So that soaker system did not work for my mint. I hope it still has some viability because it's snapping. Look at that. I mean, but there is a little life here. Let me show you. Right here. There's a little life left in it. So I think it's going to be okay. My mint was, it was drawing butterflies. It was doing all kinds of things. But that was the first thing I noticed. And then this is my garlic. The garlic's doing okay. It's got a lot of green in it. It looks like the soaker system went off this morning. And then I had these broccoli leaves, and they look like they're semi-okay. Now, a lot of this might be due to the fact that it's at the end of the season and it's harvest. So, we'll see. Now, look at my snap peas. These peas did very well. Look at, they thrived. So it might just be that some parts of the soaker system worked better than others, as far as dripping. And it does look like it went off this morning. So the peas did well. These green beans did well. And like I said, there was like that last week, it was very iffy. And I'm not sure what the temperatures were here. I was kind of keeping an eye on them. And they dipped down to maybe the 50s. But tonight we're getting a freeze warning. So I'm going to have to harvest a lot of these green beans, these peas. So I'm going to have a lot of food to eat. And the marigolds made it. I had it dripping on the marigolds. Some of this celery made it. So I'm going to show the drip system, how I strung it before I left. That'll be on a future video. And then this celery made it. This celery is the second year of this celery, maybe the third year of this celery, and it's yellowing, but it still looks like it has some life in it. This celery looks like it's doing better. Now, celery will last through the winter time, and it's usually pretty hardy, but this one kind of took a toll. So for some reason, it didn't drip very well here. And it was like so strange. I thought some stuff would not make it well, and it made it. It was like opposite. And then some other stuff I thought, well, that was pretty hardy. It had trouble. It struggled, and I'm not sure if it's just because it's the end of the season and it's fall. Now, these were the cow peas, and look, a new one started up. But the one that I thought would work or would be okay, it just never thrived. But this one thrived. And green beans, we'll see how long we can harvest those. We're getting a freeze tonight. It's supposed to dip down to about 29 tonight. So I have to harvest all this stuff today or I'll lose it. And then this is some kale that I planted. No, this is salad. I'm sorry. This is salad bowl lettuce. And I planted this, so it's coming up. And then this is some squash that I had. And it's doing pretty good. The ginger made it. So my ginger made it. And look, my cilantro is coming up. So the cilantro made it. It came. Now, I'm going to move this over to, because I was gone a month. So it's going to be, see if this soaker system helped my garden to survive. I was so worried about it. It quit working after about 2 weeks. Maybe after about 3 weeks, it quit working. So the last week, it didn't work. And I didn't know what I was going to come home to. I was so scared. So let me show you. All of this made it, except for the mint. The mint didn't make it. But we're going to have a lot of tea, which is nice in the fall to have a lot of tea. Now look at my tomatoes. My tomatoes made it. And look at all the tomatoes I got, guys. Isn't that awesome? These are early girl tomatoes. And they made it. And they were the ones that I was most worried about. Because tomatoes, a lot of times they need a lot of nurturing. But they actually made it, and I got quite a few. Now, these are the cherry tomatoes, and I got quite a few cherry tomatoes. And let's see what else. This is some rosemary. This is usually pretty hardy, and it made it. And it's very root bound. I need to transplant this rosemary into another pot. But look at all the tomatoes I got. One of my friends is going to be so happy when I drop some tomatoes off to her. She's going to be excited because she loves tomatoes, and she's in a convalescent home, so she's not able to grow a garden anymore, but she loves tomatoes, and she's always asking me for some. So, and this is kale, guys. So it's starting to come up. Now this should come up. This was just all seed. So the soaker system was helping it to come up. So we should have some of this through the winter. And this is some basil. And this basil did not make it. I don't know at what point it died. Now we could have gotten a freeze or just the drought. But I want to show you something interesting I saw last night with my flashlight. I'll show you that a little later. There's a little basil plant that came up just voluntarily, which was so bizarre. I'm like, my garden's struggling and you're thriving. That was just something to see. So my chives made it. They're usually pretty hardy. They'll usually make it all the way up until the light starts to shift. Like up until like November when it starts to get dark. Then you won't have any chives. But I love to cook with chives. I use them for a lot of things. Spring rolls, baked potatoes, that type of thing. So these were my tomatoes. They all did really well. I was so shocked. I was so happy about that. I'm going to have tomatoes and salad and all kinds of things. So got quite a few of those. I told people to come pick them, but nobody did, which I'm glad, because now I can have tomato sandwiches. So that part of my garden did better than I expected. Now we have something over here called Berry Lane. And in Berry Lane, we have a little bit of lettuce. It made it. Shocker. And it doesn't look like it's doing too bad, especially because it didn't get watered for like a week. So, and my strawberries did good. I guess it likes this spot, and that fact that this tub was big, they did good. They're really nice and green and look healthy. It was so weird. I thought stuff that wasn't going to make it made it. Stuff that I thought would be fine, like this raspberry plant. These are my blueberries, but my raspberry plant kind of took a toll. I don't know if it's just the weather, that it's the end of the season. It didn't get enough water. I'm going to water these really good today. I really didn't want to put them in shock. And notice there's a lot of leaves on the ground. It could just be because it's that time of year. I'm not going to read too much into it. There is a lot of life left in this plant at the ends. There's a lot of life left. So I think it's going to be fine. It might just be their fault. The leaves are falling because it is fall. And then here's my blueberry. It did good. There's still a lot of life. That made me happy because I've been trying to get this blueberry plant to going, and it looks like it's fine. So my garden did relatively well. And then I have these sunflowers. They're doing good. There's still a lot of life left in them. They're seeding. At least they're not drooping. They're doing good. Everything did pretty good, except for that mint. The mint was the only one that it might not have gotten watered from the beginning. There might have been something going on there. And this was, I don't even know what this was. It looks like it's lettuce of some type, and it looks like there's a celery growing in there, which is really weird. I just put this off to the side. I didn't care about this pot. That's what I'm saying. Celery grows so hardy. Once you plant it, you find it all over your yard. This was concerning to me. The last couple of days, my asparagus has turned yellow. The top of it is green, but this turned yellow. That was so bizarre. And I could see that if you look over here. I have a camera that was on all the time, and I could see the runoff right there. Let's see. Right there, I could monitor the runoff. And all of a sudden, it just shut off. I'm like, what happened? I still don't know what happened. I think something flawed in the timer because it was off when I came. It just was off. And then I put it to manual and soaked it last night for about 20 minutes. And then today I'm going to water and I'm going to harvest because otherwise I'm going to lose all of this. And I got just a little basil on this plant. This is the only one that made it. I don't know why. This one I didn't care about. I don't care about this plant, and it actually has some leaves on it, some basil leaves on it. So, and the other ones I was so worried about. I wasn't worried about them, and they died. So I don't know. I always plant a lot of basil, so this is fine. And I have some basil in my house, so I keep basil, so I'm not going to worry too much about that. And look at the seed, or are these bugs? Okay, that's what happened. Look, there's bugs on this plant. Like something's eating this plant. Look. There's some kind of bug on this plant. I'm going to have to go get some diatomaceous dirt. That's what's happening to this plant. It was vulnerable, and these bugs started eating it. Okay, we're going to have to take care. Look at that bug. It's really into it. It's quivering and everything. Wow. And it's like full of these bugs. This asparagus. I have never seen these bugs before. I don't know where they came from. All right, so we're just going to sprinkle some diatomaceous dirt. I'll keep you posted on that, how that works out. These are potatoes, guys. These are potatoes right here. And they seem like something's eating it too. Might be those bugs. I don't know. So we're going to have to put some more diatomaceous dirt. Now in here, I have carrots in here. And look, a basil plant sprung up. Like I said, this was not getting any water for like a week. And why is this basil plant thriving? I don't know. I'm going to leave it there. This has some dandelion in it, but I did plant carrots in here, and some of the carrots are starting to come up. So we'll see what happens. Look, there's another basil plant right there. There's another basil plant right there, guys. And so for it not to be watered for a week while I was gone, and you know, some of this soaker system was kind of faulty. So some of it didn't get watered, obviously, at all. It wasn't catching the water. Now we have this broccoli plant. This one didn't do too bad. The leaves kind of look like they're yellowing from the fall. So I'm not sure. I'm not even sure if I can use those for cooking or anything. And here's my cucumbers. Look at these cucumbers, guys. They were crying for somebody to pick them. Those would be super sour. So I was getting cucumbers. They were like, help. But look, there's still cucumbers here. They're still green at the end. I'm going to harvest all of these, probably just bury them somewhere. Look at that big old cucumber. That would have been a delicious cucumber. So, and then I had planted a bunch of cucumber seeds. I was getting sprouts. Look, I was getting sprouts in here. And, oh, look, there's a cucumber. There's a cucumber right there. Let's just pick that bad boy. How weird. And there's another one. These are pickling cucumbers. That one might be some good. We're going to pick all of these off of here. And look at these giant okra. Look at this giant okra. I don't even know what I'm going to do with that. But hey, the okra made it. We're just going to have to pick a little bit of it. And I planted a bunch of seed in there. If you can see, I planted a bunch of seed in here. Sorry, the trash truck. And he's going to make a lot of noise. He comes and takes the ladies, oh, I guess he's not. He usually comes and gets this lady's trash, and he makes a lot of noise. So, sorry, guys. That's what we get for going live. Oh, yeah, he's coming. Here he comes. He's going to put her... Sorry for the noise in the background. Anyway, guys, so look, my okra made it. I got giant okras. We're going to have to do something with those. This one kind of turned a funny color. Sorry, guys, of the noise in the background. Let's just move someplace else for a little bit until he leaves. We'll come back over here because I'm telling you, he's noisy, very noisy. So this is so strange to me. Look at that. All these bugs on here. They're attacking my asparagus. I'm very angry about that. Maybe he'll be a little quieter. Oh, there he goes. Bye. Okay. So yeah, all of my sproutings for my cucumbers died. And I don't even know if it's worth worrying about because we're getting a freeze tonight. Um, so I'm going to be doing some harvesting. My squash didn't make it. That must be a nurturing plant. You must have to nurture squash because, or, or, well, it doesn't look like there's holes in the leaves. It just didn't make it. Oh, look it, guys. Look at this big old squash. Okay. We're going to have stir fry here soon. Yeah. Wow, it did produce something. Let's see if there's any more in here. Well, I think once I start watering, this is going to change. So, again, look at my big old okra. I got a lot of big okra, so we might have to make some beans and throw that okra in there. That'll soften it up. I had planted a bunch of seed in here, and look, it's starting to come up. So we might have okra for a while. Okra is a very hardy, easy plant to grow. And it survived the drought. And then I have these Veronica plants. They made it. And they're all looking a little shabby. They need some water. Here's some broccoli next to these Veronica plants. So this one didn't make it. See, that soaker system isn't 100%. Now, you could put a soaker system for a couple of weeks. Not a problem. But I was gone for about a month. Almost a month. And like I said, I was monitoring it. It was doing its thing. But you just never know. Some plants don't like that. So, guys, that is my garden update. It's October 4th. I wanted to get this done because I'm going to be shutting my phone off because I don't want that alert. You know, all us truthers, we're not participating. So that is my weekly garden update for October 4th, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. I know that it's kind of bumpy because I'm live and I didn't have it on a stand and I wasn't able to edit. But we'll see you guys on the next weekly garden update. It's fall, so I had planted a bunch of seed and I'm going to start watering. So a lot of that's going to start coming up. And we'll see you on the next live, guys. You have a wonderful day. Stay alert. Bye.